Hello again, everyone. It's me, Johnny. I want to thank you for checking out my channel, and today I want to talk to you about what's your frequency. For me, this is a fun subject to talk about. It's something I learned on my road to recovery, and it's something I want to share with you. And today I'm going to be using a little transistor radio. And this is from, it's not back in the day, but back in the day we used to listen to these things. I remember, I had one as a kid, something similar to this. And whenever I wanted to listen to a different radio station, and this is an antenna, it can bring in the frequency a lot clearer. So when I wanted to listen to one radio station, I would change the dial here, okay, and it would change the frequency of what I was dialed into. So if I wanted to listen to rock, I'd change it, and it'd give me a rock station. If I wanted to listen to R&B, I change the dial, and that's what I listen to, an R&B station. I want to listen to talk radio, I do the same thing. I just change the dial. If I want to listen to smooth jazz, I change the dial. When I want to listen to Christian radio, I change the dial. It's all about changing the dial when you're dealing with frequencies. And so using this is very critical of what are you tuning in? What's your frequency? You have a choice to tune into what you want to tune into. Just like, let's say you call your body an antenna, and your mind and your heart, whatever it is, because I believe it's a spirit, soul, and body connection from your gut to your heart to your mind. It's like a super highway of information that's constantly going down. And you can tune into many things. You can change your mind, and you can tune into doubt just by switching here on my little dial here. You can take it and you can change the dial, hurt and pain. And many of us stay in those situations for years. You can choose to stay in hurt for a day, a week, a month, an hour. Some people stay there years. Some people never deal with it. And see, the wounds that we carry on the inside of us are much more hurtful than the ones on the outside. You can see the scars. If I show you the scars on my body, you can see how they have healed. But you ever take account of the scars that you have on the inside of your heart, the wounds that you carry around sometimes for the rest of your life, never given time for you to heal? Whether it's jumping from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship. And all the relationships, maybe they have a common denominator. And sometimes we look at the other person instead of examining ourselves. And that's when you have to learn how to wake up to it, see what's going on, analyze the situation, and say, I'm better than this. I deserve better than this. When you start doing that, that's when you start changing the dial. It doesn't happen overnight. Most people, or some people, are afraid to leave relationships. They'd rather stay in a dead relationship because it's comfortable and deal with the hurt and mask their smile like everything's okay. When on the inside, if you know some of these people and you know that they're hurting and they've been hurting for a long time, but they'd rather stay there and do nothing about it or change something. When the power to change is within you by changing the dial. You can choose to change the dial to happiness and focus. You can choose to be sad. Everything. When you choose to be happy, there's different chemicals that your brain releases throughout. It floods your system. And you're designed and you're wired to love. Everything about you is designed and wired to love. Everything about you is designed to be a go-getter. You will have one mission here in this dimension of time. Okay? And that's to fulfill your purpose. Not with your lips. Many people talk about self-love, but they do it from the lips. The person that I know, for me, that talks about self-love in my situation, what I consider myself to be an explanation of self-love or definition for me, after everything I went through, I changed my life. It didn't happen overnight. Everything that I teach on my channel is stuff that I'm going through or have been through. So I have the scars. They're inside here. All right? I don't wear them like a badge of honor. I don't cover them up either. It is what it is. But for me, loving myself, now my definition is waking up in the morning, whether it's meditation, prayer, going to the gym and exercising, whether it's in the morning. For me, it's in the morning. Some people like it in the afternoon. Some people, it's up to you. You have to find out what works for you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made, one of a kind. There's just not one plan in life that's going to fix all for everyone. Everyone's designed to run their own race. You can't run my race for me. I can't run yours. I can help you and guide you, but I can't run the race. I can't do all the work. It's just like some people want, abs. I was telling this young man One time we were having a conversation. It was recently. He said he wanted to get drop weight, get defined, and get some abs. And I said, well, you're not going to get it looking on the internet. You can get a program down. You're going to have to do the work. And how do you do that? By changing your frequency, changing what you're dialed into. Changing what you're dialed into. What are you feeding off of, and what's feeding you? Are you tuned into the negative news? You know, whether it's CNN, Fox, ABC, they're all the same thing. What are you tuned into? What frequency are you on? What are you receiving? Because let's say your body's like an antenna. What are you receiving on? What are you feeding on? Do you get off on gossip? Do you get off on talking about people? That's way low. You know, for me, after everything I've been through, I don't have time for that. I have no time to sit up here and argue with people. I have no time to sit up here and hear about what this person is doing. I'm still trying to figure out me and my life and what's meaningful to me, because I have a second chance at life. I'm not going to sit here wasting it. I just don't. I mean, I get up and I go. See, when you start learning how to dial into and how to turn off things by changing your frequency, by changing where you're getting your information from, what are you dialed into? One of the greatest things you can dial into is passion. When you dial into your passion, your life starts to change. The song, the story that you tell yourself changes when you find passion, when you go after it. And it's just not with your lips. Because passion enough, it's like a lot of people have talent, but talent isn't enough to get you where you want to go. It's there. You're still going to have to develop the giftings. But when adversity comes, what talent, you throw it out of the window, right? Talent goes out the window, right? When anything, hard times come, you don't think about talent. Some people get stuck. And that's the difference between winning and losing, is your perception and what you're dialed into. How do you see it? What's the conversation that's going on in your head and your heart? Over and over and over again. You have to dial into something that's positive. Stay around positive people that are doing it, that are living their life to the utmost, that are going for theirs. It wasn't happening overnight. When I first got my cancer diagnosis, people thought I was crazy. But no, I had to find out something and dig down deep inside me to come and overcome and continue to overcome. Because it's not, you don't do, a diet for 6 months, reverse it, and then you go back to the way you used to live. I believe true healing is spirit, soul, and body, And for me, it's a lifestyle change. Lifestyle, I don't even use the word diet, diet. The beginning of the word ought to tell you something, because you're miserable. But when you see it and you're dialed into a lifestyle change, spirit, soul, and body, it's something different. And the greatest thing you can do in your life, the greatest thing is dial in and figure out what you're here for. Is dial in on passion. What are you really passionate about? Because when you're passionate about something, it makes no difference. For me, just living, for me, is a blessing. So for me, my passion is waking up in the morning and learning to love me, learning to put myself first. Not in a nasty way, not in a selfish way. My passion is to help people, to go out and sit down with people, sit down with other cancer patients, and help them through. So all I do is guide. People say, I had somebody said, do I do coaching? And I get asked that all the time. Do I want to coach? And I'll be honest with you, I'm not arrogant. If I ever did do coaching, it'll be different, a lot different than most people do it, because I would like an intimate relationship with you. We're together, we're going through this thing together. And you're probably going to hate me, but through the process you're going to learn to love you. And that's the most important thing. You probably hate me in the process beginning, because what you're going to have to do, healing your body naturally, it's not like in another video I did, it's not a walk in the park. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process, because you're dealing with you. And if you had junk that you never deal with, and you're in your 50s and you're in your 40s, and you're still dealing with the kid that got a beating, or that was abused, or the young lady or the young man that was raped as a child, and you never dealt with it because your family thought it was more important to sweep it under the rug, than to deal with it. And now you're dealing with that hurt and pain. Now other things are going on in your life, or dysfunctional relationships, alcoholism, drug abuse, you can't sleep at night. All these things are factored in, by what you're dialed into, what's your frequency, who you're listening to, who you're spending time with, what books are you reading. All these things feed your mind. They feed your hearts, feed your spirit, soul, and body. And that's the greatest thing in the world for me, is learning how to love myself, but not with my lips, but with my heart. You know, having compassion and empathy, because I understand when I hear somebody else going through it. Cancer diagnosis is remember when I went through it and I was in pain. You know, or, you know, the thing that still gets me is when I had to deal with kids. That's the hardest thing, is to see the parents there. Not having the money, not having the means, whether to take the child to Mexico, they might lose their kid and all this other stuff. It's real. It happens in our country and it's so sad, you know. And these are things that I've learned to deal with on my journey as I continue to let my body heal. I don't worry about the naysayers. I don't worry about what anybody says. I have one purpose. When the good book says, well done, good and faithful servant, that's fulfilling your purpose, your passion of what you're here for. Your gifting is not like my gifting. It can be similar. You can do things way better in certain aspects and certain things in life than I could. That's your passion. That's your gifting. Talent will take you so far. And then you have to develop it. But when opposition comes in and adversity comes in and gives you a punch, Mike Tyson has a saying that says, everyone has a plan A. I think I'm quoting it right. Everyone has a plan A until they get punched in the face. And that is so serious. We have plans. We have our plans. But then for me, the Creator has a plan and something that He wants us to fulfill. And His plans supersede us. Because we try to go this way, we try to go this way, we try to go this way. What are you dialed into? What's your frequency? What do you say to yourself? What's the song that you sing to yourself over and over again? Because your body, your life is supposed to be, everything in your body, your kidneys, your heart, your liver, your intestines, your gallbladder, you know, your thyroid, your cells, everything is supposed to flow like a symphony. What's the song that you're singing in the universe? What's the song that you're saying to yourself? Over and over again. What's your frequency? What are you dialed into? Are you dialed into happiness or sadness? Are you dialed into hate or are you dialed into love? All right? Are you dialed into self-doubt or confidence? What are you dialed into? And it's all about making a choice. You know, the good book says, meditate upon my word day and night. You got to remember, if you know your Bible, He didn't have the rest of the Bible. He just had 5 books. He didn't have the rest of it. When He quoted that, 5 books. So for me, when going through it, it's the promises. I choose to focus on promises that were given to me. I choose to meditate on the Word. I choose to say affirmations. These are all things that help me, because renewing the mind, renewing your heart, renewing the gut, it's spirit, soul, and body. True healing is spirit, soul, and body. I don't focus on the cancer. I focus on healing my body. How am I going to heal? How does this thing heal? How does it work? For me, that's the most precious gift that you can have, is knowledge, but not only knowledge, acting on the knowledge. And I'm going to end it here. I know it's quick and swift, but God bless you guys. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your support. God bless you guys. Take care.